Good morning to you, everyone. This is Music and Nature, Episode 2. Grab your cup of Java and let's have a cup together. Now comes the fun part, folks. I have so many things I want to share, and my thoughts are so random. I hope I can keep this coherent and make sense to everyone. I go from one moment thinking I have enough material, and the next moment thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to keep this going? I don't know if I have enough to talk about. So we'll see how long this goes and how much stuff I have. Right now, I can think of a lot of things I'd like to say, but I can't put it all in one episode. So we'll just start at the beginning. I got this invite, I've told you that, to this healthy eating group. I accepted and began drinking tons of water. Our fearless leaders started making posts about making a lifestyle change. You know, don't look at this as a diet. We don't eat good and bad foods, but healthy and unhealthy. We all started cleansing together, trying to get rid of our bodies, all of the junk food in our bodies, and all of that stuff that we had been eating for months and maybe years. In my case, years. So recipes started popping up, and we began cheering each other on. Now, I've never been a sweets eater, so that wasn't hard to let go of. And even though I'd started cramming into my body like Hostess cupcakes and things like that over the 2 months that we were at home, I mean, who doesn't like a Hostess cupcake, right? I do like ice cream. I could probably eat a cone twist, to be specific, half vanilla, half chocolate from Dairy Maid every evening. Still, my problem wasn't giving up sweets, but chips and crunch. That's my thing. Chips, crunchy, salty things. Those are my vice. But if I was going to give up, if I was going to commit to a healthier me and take this journey, then I had to give them up. I had to let them go. Now, I've never smoked beyond being a kid in high school who tried it as being something that was cool. So I have no idea what it's like to give up nicotine. I know some folks say they had to quit cold turkey, while others did a bit of weaning themselves off. I have no idea what that's like, but I can tell you that with my chips and Dairy Maid ice cream, I just quit cold turkey. No chips, no ice cream, and to this day, since May 18th, I have not had either one. The weird part about all of that is I've never craved any of it. There are 3 bags of salsa chips sitting in my kitchen, and I haven't touched not one of them. David buys boxes of Hostess this or that every now and then, like he really needs it, and I haven't even been tempted. So even though I'm way past the cleanse, I suspect that one day I will crave those things. But I can tell you that right now my resolve is there is no turning back. I feel too good, even at this point, to turn back. That first week, I was smart enough to recognize that while the group was and is still amazing, all of the stories, and it's fun to cheer each other on, I realized I was going to have to do something more to hold myself accountable. I knew I needed a probiotic and a little help with cleaning out my system. Water wasn't going to be enough to flush out the toxins of sitting at home for 2 months. So when it came time to picking some supplements and things to help out, I didn't hesitate when it came time to pick what I was going to take. I wanted to take with me Shaklee on this journey. No choice in my mind. Shaklee nutritional supplements were my choice, hands down. And so some of you may know what Shaklee is. Some of you may not have any idea. It will come up often in these videos because I believe in the products so much. They're remarkable. But maybe I need to give you a little bit of background. We moved to Idaho in 1994. Blake was 1 month old when we made the trek across the country. In fact, I was 8 months pregnant with him when the school district David would work for in the next 11 years called and asked him to come for an interview. My dad and David set out. Mom stayed home with me. They traveled 1,500 miles in a day and a half. And David called me when he got there and said, I can't move us here. This place is terrible. My reply was, you took my dad with you. If you want to live to return, you need to take the interview. He did. And we ended up taking the trip, moving out there. He took the job. And we honestly thought that we'd live in Idaho for the rest of our lives. We loved it. We loved all of the things that we could do: the snow skiing, the snowmobiling, the dirt biking, just the way of life, camping in the mountains. I mean, it's where I love to do all of my vacationing. God, however, had other plans for us. But I do think that he had the plan to take us to Idaho, that he took us to Idaho for a reason. The year began, he was teaching in public school, and I set up my private studio. And through my studio, I always meet so many interesting people. And that's how I was introduced to Shaklee. In 1998, David was diagnosed with testicular cancer. Nutrition became very important to us, as did doctors, nurses, and chemotherapy protocol. We learned a lot, and I believe God's hand was at work in our lives. David's doctor was one of the best in the country. The cancer center was top-notch, along with the hospital. That year of our lives was extremely difficult. Blake was 3, turning 4. Brian 1, turning 2. David's regimen was 1 week in the hospital for treatments, then 3 weeks out. He did 4 rounds, then surveillance. The cancer returned, so after a major surgery, he underwent 3 more rounds. It was when he was home that Shaklee came into play. He hated it. He didn't think the vitamins and the protein we were practically forcing down him did a thing. I'm not sure he still doesn't think that, but I don't even want to think about how much more difficult all of that would have been without trying to build his body in between treatments. You see, there was no putting off treatments if his body wasn't strong enough for the next round. As far as cancer is concerned, testicular cancer is a curse and a blessing at the same time. At least the particular kind David had. It was very fast growing, but that in turn meant it responded well to treatment. Of course, we know that 22 years later, David is still kicking. I'm so thankful to his doctors, the cancer center, the nurses, and the amazing hospital. I am also thankful I was introduced to Shaklee. There are no other supplements I would choose. They are backed by science, but made from whole foods, nothing synthetic. Deciding to embark on this journey brought me full circle, back to what I could trust. I knew I could trust the 7-Day Cleanse supplements, and I also knew I could trust the nutrition I would get from continuing with the supplements and the protein once I passed the cleaning stage. I'm now into the weight loss stage of this journey. Weight loss for me has always been a challenge. I've just never been able to lose weight or stick with the plan. That's all changed. I doubt most people would be able to see any changes at this point, but that doesn't matter to me. I feel the changes, and I can see some as well. Next time, I'm going to talk about the other things I'm doing that are making a difference. Good nutrition and healthy eating are just the tip of the iceberg. I read a couple of great Bible passages this morning. Hit the nail on the head. Isn't it interesting how the right passages come on the right day? The first one was "Let us start rebuilding" from Nehemiah 2:18. The other was from the second book of Peter, chapter 1, verses 4 and 5, and it talked about drudgery, forming godly habits. Well, not only am I trying to form more godly habits, but also these healthy living habits. I have a lot to contemplate today, and I'm sure you all have great sources. So if you have sources that you'd like to share with me, please do. My sources for daily devotionals, in case anybody's wondering, are My Daily Bread and My Utmost. So on my YouTube channel, I try to find those things so that they're easily accessible. But if you can't find them, just shoot me a message. Or My Utmost is just utmost.org. Join me next time as I talk about listening to some singing bowls and some didgeridoos. Until then, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.